a very difficult process, but I like it.
Exactly,
It makes sense
exactly.
when you simplify it down.
Yeah.
Um, what has been your favorite moment so far as an artist?
Oh, dude, I played my first show like a month and a half ago. Oh my God. Like I'm actually getting chills just like thinking about it. Oh, dude, that was the highlight of my life. I've dreamt like in the closet, you know, like when I was working away in the closet, I'm like, someday, like I'll play these songs like to a live audience. And then when I did, like I literally played those exact songs. Like my home, I wrote in a closet. Like that is no BS story. It's straight up wrote, mixed, mastered, produced in a closet, put it out there, and somehow it reached like millions of streams and whatever. Like blew my mind. I couldn't believe that's possible. And so like to take that same song and many other songs too that I wrote in the closet, like 80% of the songs I played at the show were written in that closet, just like dreaming about this one day. I would literally just lie on the floor, like close my eyes for hours a day and just like visualize. I would just play it in my brain, like, okay, like imagine me walking on stage, imagine the cheers, like all that stuff. And so to see it to come to fruition was unreal, man. Like that was such a blessing. And like it was the best crowd ever. Like it was just full of friends and family. And so like they knew a bunch of like the words and stuff. And so that was the first time I heard back my lyrics back to me. They would just went feral. I'm not gonna lie. Like it was the best crowd, like best first show crowd I could have ever asked for. Like because everybody there was just like in support of me. And so they would like cheer like the craziest fangirls ever. It was like it was so fun. And there probably wasn't even that many. It was probably like 100, 150, like actually like there. And it was just the best night of my life, like hands down. Like my best friend Caleb, right? Who I whose couch I slept on, whose closet I created all the music in. He surprised me and flew out from Arizona for that night for like 4 hours just to go to the show because he's insanely busy and successful in his own right. So I told him about the show, but I was like, oh, I know you can't make it. You're way too busy. Like, no worries. And he's like, dude, I'm so sorry. Like he totally tricked me. He's like, I'm so sorry, man. I can't make it. And he popped up out of nowhere like 20 minutes before the show. And I was like, what? No, what is happening? And so like that was full circle. Like it was like the highlight of my life. Like, and I can't wait. I remember thinking, I was like, I could do this for the rest of my life. Like, are you kidding me? Like, I can't believe this is a job that you can get paid for. And it's like it's a real life experience that you could do on
Yeah.
a regular basis. So like ever since I played that show, I'm like, I am gonna work 3, 4, 5, 10 times as hard to secure that as my future. You know, like that's what I want to do. Like play shows, connect with fans, the homies, like everybody, like grow that and just keep building and creating. I just love to create and build. It's like that was everything to me.
Yeah. Do you have any more shows planned right now, or is it kind of just making music right now and then potentially down the road?
Yeah, down the road for sure. Like, cause that show was like crazy to pull off. Like, I pulled it off in like a week. I created the whole set list, all that stuff,
Oh, wow.
pulling together. Like, I have, because currently I have, like, there's no one on my team. It's literally just me, right? Like, there's no
Mhm.
manager, there's no other producers, nobody, none of that. And so, yeah, right now I'm just like making music because I want to grow bigger. And I'm like, I can't tour yet. I don't have a touring fan base yet, but I'm like, give me a year, you know, playing
Yeah.
long game. I'm like, dude, if I pump out music and really master the art of like online content and actually building a real connection with people online, like I can sell out shows, you know, and then so I'm gonna to do that, I just got to go back to the drawing board. It's like, okay, make more music, make incredible music, like pouring my heart and soul out into these records, and then marketing it hard, you know, like figuring out a way to have people connect with it on social media. And like if I do that for a year, then I'll be able to have build a big enough fan base for that. So hopefully later this year, hopefully that's the goal.
So, yeah, that's exciting stuff. Yeah, that's tough to build out with like just yourself doing it. That's usually
It's a
people
lot
got
of,
teams of at least 10, even like the smaller independent artists you see a lot of times they're doing it with like three or four of the other friends are involved with it, or they're doing
yeah.
music, so they kind of have like a group thing going on. So doing it by yourself is definitely brings about a lot of challenges.
Dude, it's I wouldn't recommend it to my worst enemy. I'm dead serious. Like, I wish I had a team. I just know not many people have reached out yet, you know. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
maybe it's not. I just gotta get better. I just gotta get better. But I'm like, if I can be self-sufficient now, then I'll be set for later. You know, if I can figure it all on my own now, then when people come in, they can just like put gasoline onto the fire. You know, like I want to really build this thing. Um, I wish I didn't have to do it by myself, right? Like dude, I wish I had like producer friends and music friends. I had nobody for years. Like I just had to figure it out. There's nobody around me. So I just the online, you know, YouTube was my best friend. You know, I just did that. But hopefully down the line. Hopefully, I'm hoping to build out a team soon. You know, that would
Yeah.
be great. I would love that. It'd take a couple of things off my plate,
I
but
think a couple things out
it's been
there.
fun. It's been fun.
I think it helps though too, like as far as if you're the artist, you're kind of responsible for keeping the team in line. And if you've done everybody's job by yourself, you can know so much better what should be getting done versus someone who's just, oh, I just make the music and perform the music. Like I don't know any of this other stuff. I pay someone to do that. Like you know all that
Yeah.
stuff now, and that gives you like a level of knowledge and I don't know if I want to say power, but you like you know what I mean? Like you
Yeah,
know what
yeah.
should be happening, what should be going on, and versus someone who's just like unsure of how that process works, which most artists are. Because that's
Yeah.
yeah, it's a lot of work to do all to do the music and everything else.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is, but you're right. You're right. You're so right. Like I'm glad been able to do every part of it. Then when people come and do it, I know what they're supposed to be doing, and yeah, just be able to build from there.
Yeah. So going off of your favorite moment, what's been the hardest moment as far as since you started this journey like 3 years
Oh,
ago?
that's really good. I would say like my relationship with my parents. So like my parents were refugees from Vietnam, like fleeing the Vietnam War, and they came here to America, and all they wanted was for their kids. Like so, I have an older brother, um, just us two. Like all they wanted was for their kids to go to college and graduate, and like neither my brother and I did. Like my brother had a similar like entrepreneurial journey, and he kind of made it easier for me to pursue mine because he took like the brunt force of like my parents just destroying him on that, just like how could you like all that stuff. But I want to preface that my parents love us to death. But the thing is they've never seen somebody like anyone that they know have a successful music career, like ever make money off of music or even like business, like for my brother who started his own business, but actually now he's a writer, like he's transitioned into that. It's like they've never seen anybody make a living off of a creative field. So they were just deathly scared, and rightfully so. Like, again, I didn't make a single dollar for years, and neither did my brother when it came to this stuff. And so they were just being good parents and, trying to be like, we love you. We want to protect you. We don't want to see you fail. And so they like, dude, it was rough because I decided not to go to college at all. My brother decided to drop out, and it just severed our relationship entirely. Like I would go months without talking. Like when I moved to Arizona, I would go months without talking to them. And like every month, like when I was back at home before I moved out, like they would just sit me down every week and be like, all right, let's reconsider. Like maybe we should put you in college. Maybe we should do this. Like I'll help you with it, I'll help fund it and all this stuff. I'm like, no, I know what I need to do. Like, just give me some time. Like, I remember telling my parents every single year, I'm like, this is the year I'm gonna make it. Like, watch this, like, watch what I'm gonna do, right? And nothing would happen, like absolutely nothing. And the next year would roll on. I'm like, watch this, mom. Yeah, watch this. I got it in the bag. I got the master plan figured out. The music's getting there. Nothing would happen, And that was the hardest part, just like failing over and over in front of them and them just wanting to like help me out and support me. Um, that was by far the hardest. But then, when everything started working out, they're like, oh, thank Jesus. Like, oh my God, we don't have to worry about him anymore. Like he's good, he's set. Like that, and that was like the most fulfilling. So that was the hardest for sure, I would say.
Yeah. But on the other end of it, it had to feel so great when you did finally get to that point, like more than it would have even before going through that and like having that challenge of knowing how much they care about you and knowing how much they want the best for you and feeling like you have it, but they not necessarily that they don't think that you have it, but they're like worried about your future and stuff. So to pull that
Yeah.
off had to feel really great.
Dude, the best feeling by far, because it wasn't just like pulling it off, but it was like it brought us closer than ever before, because if my brother and I went to college, we would have been like depressed to like a whole different stratosphere. Like I hated school, it just never was for me. Like we would have been sad to have wasted all that time and regret not being able to pursue what we did. So like I feel like in that scenario, and I think a lot of people struggle with this too, like it's either you're happy and your parents are really sad, or your parents are happy and you're really sad. Like I see a lot of like friends and stuff like just doing things just because their parents like force them to, kind of thing. But like going against the grain is really difficult when it comes to that regard, especially like in an Asian family, like where education is prioritized as like the number one thing, like by far over anything else. And so like I think that was that was the most difficult part. But then it was so fulfilling because like at the show, like my dad was like on stage like filming, and like I remember like shouting him out because I didn't even know he was on stage filming. He just like snuck up there, right? And everyone just started cheering. I'm like, what's happening? It's like you just see my dad on his phone, like filming everything. And like it was just like a proud dad moment. And then everybody in the crowd is just like, oh, this is so cool. And then like for me, it was so cool to see like how happy they are now. And like they couldn't be more like they're literally my number one fans.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, and